Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Dan McDermott. This is Google Plus Week. Glad to have you with us. It's our unofficial look at the world's coolest social network. We have a whole hangout ready to talk tonight, but first I have a special guest, Mohammed Mansour from Ottawa, Canada. He works at Research in Motion, which is always in the news. He's a software engineer by day, and by night and on the weekends, he develops Chrome apps for Google Chrome web browser, and he works on the Chromium project, which is a quest to sort of build the perfect web presence. It's a volunteer thing, so I'm very eager to get him on tonight. Mohammed, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time.
No problem. Thank you very much for having us.
Now, you are a popular guy, and for two reasons. One, you develop these apps, Google Chrome extensions, and you work on the Chrome project, but you give them away for free. So, what motivates you? I know it's the Christmas and holiday season, and everyone's giving everyone presents, but what I guess you get satisfaction out of this. Tell me how you got involved.
It all started because I was into open source many years ago, and I learned development when doing open source projects. I basically didn't know any programming 5 years ago when I learned programming during my third year university at the University of Ottawa. Because I switched from 3 degrees from chemical engineering to electrical engineering to software, and I had an urge to learn about development on a bus ride home. It was an hour ride bus home. I just picked up my laptop and just did a calculator program, which took me forever to do, by the way. And ever since then, the way I learned was looking through open source software, and like every single day, I just browsed online to find solutions, and there's people who are very nice to actually help people around and do open source software. So all these years, like 3 years during that life, I'm like, how can I help back? How can I give back to the community? And in my previous job, I was really bored at work, and there's nothing challenging to do. And eventually, I'm like, what thing interests me the most? I'm like the web, and I picked between two projects. There was Firefox and there's Chrome. Firefox, that was in 2008. Firefox was really stable, really good development. I used to use it every single day. But Google Chrome came out. I'm like, there's no organization. No one cared about the open source community that well, and there was a challenge because there was a lot of bugs. And if you remember the first version of Chrome, there's a lot of missing features. And I'm like, okay, it's a perfect way to get into a project if there's no enough love in that project. And I actually went inside and I knew nothing about C++, nothing about Python, nothing about JavaScript, nothing about anything. But I love the browser and their vision, Google's vision of how to make the browsing a better place. And that's why, and ever since then, I spent every day like 5 to 8 hours a day developing for Google Chrome open source project Chromium. And after 2 years being there, I published around 165 at least patches, like coding patches, feature requests, and bug fixes. And I help people in the community, like on the Chromium channels, the mailing list, the IRC channels, the forums. And I was a top contributor to Google Chrome forums because I helped too many people fix their crashing problems. And I loved helping people. On Stack Overflow, I was the first in answering questions for Chrome, because the way I learned was logging into Stack Overflow and learning about how people help me solve my problems. And the only way I can give stuff back is to do something, and that something is basically produce code, give it to the public. Right, like at the early days, I used to write blog posts on how to develop, and I used to go on Yahoo Answers a lot to teach people how to, if they have problems, and I like that. But I want to do something online, do code, and let people use my code. So that's why I joined Chromium. Extensions is a different thing that we can talk later about, but extensions is my continuation of Chrome, because I'm no longer allowed to develop Chrome that much, so I like to do my own stuff and develop extensions instead. And that's what I do right now for a while.
Okay, I got one question. The difference between there's Chrome for folks watching, and for me, I have Chromium on my computer, and I use Google Chrome. Is one an offshoot, or is one? What's the difference? I mean, the Google Chrome that Google releases, is that what folks in Chromium are working on, or is that separate?
The Chromium is the source code for Chrome, but with all the legal entities bind to Google, they call it Google Chrome. For example, you can have synchronization features, you can have logging in to Google, and there's a blog post I can link you after the show that tells you the difference between Chrome and Chromium, and
Okay.
it's basically a legal thing at the end. So,
Okay. So we'll put
but
that in the
all the
description for the video
all
later.
the Google Chrome engineers, they actually develop on Chromium. Each single one have a Chromium account, and we have a lot of lot of statements in a lot of code in Chromium that says if this browser is Google Chrome, please put this feature in. So they have a lot of those stuff. It's basically just a legal binding, in my opinion.
Okay. Now I know that, as you said, you develop a ton of extensions for Chrome, and for anyone who doesn't know, if you don't use Chrome, you should. It's free. Just go to Google and type Google Chrome and in the search bar, and you'll get there. It's a great browser. I absolutely love it. There's still some things you still need Internet Explorer for certain things, like some banks don't like Chrome, or Google QuickBooks doesn't like it. I can't print correctly. I have to use Firefox. So you kind of need all three browsers, and there are others as well. But tell me, your new, I guess, popular on Google Plus extension is called My Hangouts. Tell us about that, and tell us about the new features that you've just released. And again, this is a free extension you can get, and there's a Google Plus page called My Hangouts, where you can get more information on it.
Yeah, My Hangouts is my latest extension I created. I developed it 5 months ago, but I kept on giving updates. I think it's my 20th Google Plus extension. I develop around 2 to 3 extensions a month used to. And the most popular extension of them all was my first extension, was the extended share for Google Plus. That after 2 hours and Google Plus was released, I developed the first extension of Google Plus. It was on TechCrunch, Mashable, and stuff like that. It's basically to share your posts to other networks, like other social networks. That was popular. But My Hangouts, the whole point of My Hangouts is to easily find Hangouts that are interesting to you, which are around you. So this new feature of My Hangouts, which I implement with very cool guys, like Ryan, Martin, John Barrington Craig, James, Kim. I actually we were working on it for the last 3 weeks every single day, and this feature has, let me show you what it has. It has allows you to, like, if you have a circle you're interested in, for example, Googlers or like Google Plus pages, and you want to know when they enter a Hangout. So you want to be notified when they enter a Hangout. So there's a feature called Circle Notifications that you add a circle to your drop-down box. And I could show you on the screen if you want to after, but you add a circle to your drop-down box, and you can actually be notified when that person in that circle enters a Hangout. So a small pop-up box will appear saying, Dan McDermott entered a Hangout. Do you want to join? Yes, you want to join. You click on the button to join. Another new feature is mappings. So if you want to know around you,
Mohammed, let me
world,
interrupt you briefly. I apologize.
Yes.
Someone has a speaker on with either the Justin feed or something. But if you're go ahead and mute your own mics, except for Mohammed, and then just unmute yourself once you speak. But don't forget to unmute yourself. I apologize. I could just hear everything we're saying again, and it's probably bugging the folks who are going to listen to the. So go ahead, Mohammed. I apologize for interrupting you. You said you can find. Folks, I guess you can be notified if there are certain people or circles that start a Hangout.
I muted everyone now, just for.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No mercy.
No, sorry, guys.
Those Canadians.
Canadians are mean. No, we're not. So basically, I wanted a way to be notified when my top Hangout circle comes online, because I like to meet up with them every single day. So you basically just visit the options page, which you click on the browser action. When you click on the icon, you click on the wrench menu. And from that, you basically enter the circles. It's a very easy way to enter the circles on that list.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, I froze. It's okay.
Oh, you're okay. We can see you and hear you fine. And just as I say that, he's frozen. He may have to rejoin us. Let's see. We'll give him a second. Then while we're waiting for him to come back, any of you guys, have any of you folks used it in the Hangout?
I actually saw it once, and I tried to join, but it was already full. It looked pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it does look. It looks better. I used to use this Hangout Canopy, and I think his looks like it's a little bit nicer, both visually and in terms of. I mean, this deal with Circle is a beautiful feature. I mean, and by the way, you go to settings on the actual utility, not in the Chrome browser itself.
So is it available in the App Store?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's available in the Chrome store.
Yeah, and he has a Google Plus page as well. He has a Google Plus page that I've got the wrong. Let me see. Let me get that off.
Yeah, just go on Google
I'm confused because I'm switching different things, but yeah, he has his. It's called My Hangouts Google Plus page, and he's got all the information there, including all the new things. I think he's coming back. Let's see.
Here's the page in the page that Dan is talking about right there.
Can you set up the screen sharing?
All right, Mohammed's back, and so anybody got a? Did you want to talk any more about that, or you want to get to see if anyone has a question for you, Mohammed?
Like, sorry, something went wrong with Chrome. It just crashed on me. I'm using
Ironic,
Firefox now.
isn't it?
The beauty of having many browsers. So, like, another feature we did is the mapping around the world, which is really popular. There's a lot of background noise as well. It was really popular because in hanging around, and the map feature allows you to know who in the world is hanging out right now. Where are they in the world? It uses their Google Plus profile if they made it public or limited, depending on what you give the person, depending on what you tell the person to see. So if Dan told me, hey Mo, you can see my profile, my location, then I can access that location. It's really like it respects Google's privacy because we don't store anything. We just access this web services and that's it. RESTful services they give us. And it's kind of cool. You can zoom in the feature, know who's in the United States, who's in China, who's in Africa. You can know where everybody is, and you can pop into Hangout in real time that way. And we have a ranking feature. So basically, we have like really good algorithms that tell you how important that person is to you, based on your interactions to him, how many circles he belongs to, which position they are in your circles, and those metrics allow you to know how important that person is to you, and they are actually sorted on the top. They will be visible more on the top than in the bottom. And that's basically it. And My Hangouts is free because I want to give something to the public for free because I use it, and if I use it, I hope many people would love to use it, and I hope you guys like it as well. So that's basically it for My Hangouts.
Okay,
and more features are coming out in the future. Oh, there's one more called Capture Moment. So if I'm in a Hangout right now, I can capture this moment and save it in my gallery. So many people like taking screenshots of Hangouts, but with My Hangouts, you can click on a button, it automatically create a screenshot for you. Automatically.
Okay, I guess
that's pretty awesome.
I want to check something, and I apologize for the echo audio. I guess I have to mute everybody, because if you're muting them, it only mutes it for yourself, since they implemented. So I'm gonna mute folks. Let me start with Oleg. Oleg, you said you've used this, and you like it, right?
Yes. Yeah, I used just a little bit. Just installed it. Excellent job, by the way, Mohammed. Excellent job.
Thank you.
And yeah, I just looked at the features. I mean, like I said, I used this canopy thing before, and they don't have anywhere near the features, useful features, that Mohammed has here. I mean, this deal about going to settings on it and sticking people from your circles to be notified when they're on the Hangout, brilliant feature. I think it's an excellent feature.
The important distinction between this and other extensions is that this extension doesn't use external servers to store any information.
Guys, I've just crashed the Hangout on my end.
No,
we're still active. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still active.
If you don't close the browser, then it'll stay on. So don't close the browser, and it'll.
Yeah.
What do I do? How do I? Okay, this is kind of embarrassing. How do I? What do I do to? Can I just open a new browser window and
rejoin Hangout?
I've crashed it. I've straight up crashed it.
If you open Firefox and open a Hangout from Firefox, you can still save this Hangout.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be brought back.
But do not close this current window.
Okay.
The stream is still going on, so.
Right.
Yeah, we see you fine on our end.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting a full dose of the. All right. Let's see. New window. So I'm gonna try a new window of Chrome.
No, open a different browser.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
So Mohammed, how do you think can you add additional features to it by like moderator features, or is that something that cannot be changed within the Hangouts?
Your what? Sorry.
Can you? Is there a way to add moderator features to the Hangout through extension?
I think I lost it. I don't know if I lost it or not. I have lost it. Yes, I have. All right. Well, folks watching, I apologize. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, I guess, reboot this machine. I'm going to restart this machine. I'm going to have to restart the Hangout. And anyway, so I've had a nice day. I hope you have. I have. All right, here we go. I'm rebooting the machine. Then I got to start Desktop Presenter and then Chrome again. What I was doing was, someone had a speaker on, and I was editing. I was getting the echo that I'm sure you heard. So I muted. I didn't see at the top when you mute somebody, it says you're muting so and so. Is this what you want to do? Yes or cancel. And so I was doing that, or I didn't see that. And then I went to mute another person. I was muting everybody except trying to figure out where the problem was. And then it froze when I tried to click from one person to another person to bring the main video to switch it, which is too much information, but I'm obviously trying to kill time because I'm in this awkward moment here. All right, 3D compatibility, capture audio, no. Minimize, and then let me show you what I'm doing here. Then I've got to... now I'm going to tell it to, I've got to go to Task Manager. Tell Task Manager, I don't think you can see this, but process Desktop Presenter. I'm going to make it high quality or high priority so that you get the better quality audio or video from the Hangout. And then there we go. Now let's bring up Chrome. And let's start a cancel. Let's go to plus. Thinking I might have to edit this show. And then let's start a Hangout. And let's do it. Let's do the live one. Yes, my hair is fine. It will be streamed and recorded. Google Plus Week. .0 Hangout. Yes, I will not. I agree. And let's add callers and Mohammed. Influencers, callers, Mohammed. All right, here we go. Hopefully someone will show up. In the meantime, I hope everyone's having a wonderful pre-Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate. Let's see if wonder if that Hangout's still going. And they don't even know I've done a new Hangout. That's possible. Um, yeah, nobody's coming in. I don't think that they know. Let me go to their Hangout and see. This is funny. All right, let me see here. Now I'm texting Oleg to see what the deal is. Hopefully someone will join. This is different. This has never happened. Guess I'll just wait here. Maybe I'll read the news. I appreciate it, Linda. Linda's on. Let's see what we got here. Linda Lowry's there. Yeah, this is... I don't think any... I'm trying to figure out... Here's the deal. I've invited the same folks, and nobody... And now to add insult to injury, a stink bug has just landed on the back of my head. This is not my day. Let's say I'm being punished for something here. Yep. Linda, I don't like them, but they're kind of dumb. No one's joining the Hangout. None of the guys. Let me try it again here. Invite. Let me go Oleg. Trying to get somebody. Mike Phillips. Mohammed. Alan. Bruce. Alan, what happened, buddy?
You tell me. I have no idea.
Did your Hangout end, or did you guys keep going?
I'm just sitting down now for the first time. I have no idea what's going on. I haven't been at my desk in 3 hours.
Oh, welcome. Oh, I thought you were in it before. Let me see if anyone's gonna... It froze. Mohammed, this is very ghetto. It froze on me. And but did your Hangout continue?
Oh, my Hangouts crash every day like 10 times.
Oh, so it must
we
be...
were still there, but the
you
thing is
missed everything then.
Oh, so it's just the Hangouts on air that crashes.
we talked about a lot of things. Yeah.
Oh, how
We
ghetto.
talked about a lot of extensions while you were gone, Dan.
Yeah.
So the
There's a
Hangout
movie gonna be
continued.
coming
It
out.
just crashed on my end.
Yeah.
Here's Alan. That's the reason it didn't work. Alan wasn't there.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay,
That's it.
we'll
Oleg's
pick it up.
absolutely right.
I don't know if I
Alan
should edit
fixed
this out or not. I mean, because it kind of showed a problem. But please, 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 if you have an external speaker of any kind, mute your microphone. Because if I try to mute you, that's what crashed it on me.
Okay.
So let me...
Yeah, we'll do self-discipline.
All right, so I'm going to go public with it and try it again.
Actually, when Muhammad muted different people, that didn't crash anything. So I think...
I should meet people.
No, it's okay. No, it's everybody beats me up, so I can mute everybody else. I can take the beating. It's okay.
We love
So
you.
Oleg becomes the enforcer. Is that the deal?
Exactly.
Indeed.
The Stalin approach.
All right, let's resume our program. Okay.
I'm totally lost.
Yeah. Welcome, Alan. I thought you were in it before. I thought you joined, but you haven't. Okay, cool.
No, I sent you a message saying I was running late, but
Okay, we can recap if you want quickly.
Well, it's okay. We went through that stuff because I'll either leave it or edit it. I'm not sure. We'll decide at the end what I should do.
No, there's some good stuff there.
Oh, the stuff you mean that I didn't?
No, but
Oh,
but
yeah,
I think
yeah.
he won't get our stuff because
I'm
once
sorry.
the broadcaster leaves, the recording stops.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Go
once
ahead.
he
Go
crashed,
ahead. Do a
the recording
recap,
stopped.
Mohammed. Do a recap of what you folks were talking
Yeah.
about while we were, while I rudely ended my
Oh, I
participation
forgot.
involuntarily.
No, basically my Hangouts is there for the community. We're a bunch of engineers and developers and designers and marketers that we're trying to create a product that will help people come in Hangouts easier and funner, like with the nice features like maps and capture moments and all this kind of juicy stuff. And there's more to come along the lines. But our main goal is for making it secure, safe, and fun. Like we don't want to over-engineer stuff. We don't want to, like, it's really cool, and hopefully you guys will love the stuff coming soon.
Okay, I'm stoked. Does anyone have a question for him before we move on to our regular Google Plus topics?
yeah, I've got one quick question. You guys are obviously, I assume, working outside the published API, correct?
Everything in my Hangouts is the API I made a couple months ago called Google Plus extension, unofficial Google Plus extension API.
Okay, so yes, you're working outside the official APIs.
You can
How much-
like the API right now for Google Plus is absolutely horrible.
Yes, I'm quite aware of that.
I'm really depressed on how Google's taking it that way. I'm really frustrated, to tell you the truth. Really, really frustrated. Like, they have a bunch of smart people working for Google, and they can't even figure out an API after 6 months. Like startups can think about an API after 2 days, right? Startups. You see, like all the startups coming out, they have APIs coming out at day 1, but Google can't figure out of an API to come out for developers.
Do you guys think
Like-
that Google engineer had a point about his platform argument, the rant?
Yes, of course, 100%. Because tell you the truth, the way I'm doing, I reverse engineered the API. It took me a couple weekends, but the thing is, right now it's so stable that I created beautiful projects like circle management, my Hangouts, maps around my circles, and all these products were created by my API that I created for an unofficial. I created tests around them. I make sure there's a lot of error handling, and tell you the truth, why should I use the API's third publishing, which does nothing? This one I can add people to circles, remove circles, add followers, add topics, remove topics, query Hangouts, search, and there's no limitation whatsoever. So sure, they don't like it, but like that's one reason why. Should I stop doing should I stop doing development for Google Plus? Should I? Like for example, when I did the Hangout app long time ago, right? There was like 1 month in of Google Plus. That was during June. During July. In July, I wanted a way to code with my peers on Hangout, right, Dan? So me and my friends, we want to code together. So the way to code, you need to do screen sharing. But Google Plus didn't have any screen sharing built in. So what I did a hackathon, which is a group of geeks coming together. Me, John Barrington Craggs, and James, us three, we were coding for 8 hours straight, right? So James and John Barrington Craggs, he was basically doing the game side of things. We were trying to develop a game on Hangouts, like playing games with each other. So, and I was in charge of figuring out in the Hangout how to send information back and forth. So at the end, we hijacked the Google YouTube button to send information back and forth between everyone in the Hangout. And we created at the end a game called Circle Pong that you can actually play. That was like 5 months ago, before the API came out. Like 3 months before the API came out, we developed this game. 3 months. So basically, everybody here can play a game called Pong. You have a ball, you throw it with each other, and you control it over a Hangout. We developed something called CodeShare. In CodeShare, and if I clicked on a button on a Hangout, I can link it after. What you do is that you share a document before the Google Extras came out by 3 months, and you collaborate that way. And that was done with an unofficial API. If they never give us APIs. I think they want to control this platform. They want to control this platform so developers don't get a head start of what they're doing. But that doesn't stop me, to tell you the truth.
That's
I
interesting
have
because you're
I
obviously
have
a
everything
fan.
I need. I have everything I need right now. I have
Yes.
every single thing Google Plus can do. I have it now. Every single thing. Like
Okay.
every detail, every single detail. I'm serious.
I was laughing because you said I reverse engineered Google Plus's API in a couple, but it took me a couple weekends. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it
Um,
took me like 4 days only, and because there's a lot of performance problems I had to fix. Like for example, there was a performance problem that took me like a day, which it took me around 30 minutes to query all the data. 30 minutes. Then I made it into 20 seconds instead. Like that, how much? That's the difference of performance I changed. Like there's stuff that's what I do. I like to optimize stuff to make it faster for you guys and more efficient, so you guys won't complain with bug reports and stuff like that.
that's awesome. Okay, well switch gears, and I told Mohammed he's welcome to join us. He likes doing this. If he has to go, that's totally cool as well. But we got a list of topics here. One is the news came out, I think yesterday, or the day before. 150 million active users for Google Plus. I think that's fantastic. It doesn't really surprise me because I think everyone. Let me throw it to the Hangout. I think everyone has experienced a tremendous increase in the number of people adding you over before. But what do you guys think? Oleg, are you surprised at all that it's at this level?
I'm not that surprised. I've been a staunch Google Plus proponent and anti-Facebook guy for ever since they came out. And so, to me, it's one of these things where I'm a little bit cautious coming from the world of other products that I thought were great, and they unfortunately went away because people could market and sell them. So there was some concern about Google Plus as well on my part, hoping that Google will do the right thing. Although after listening to Mohammed here, and the fact that they're not hiring him, which I think is ridiculous, I don't know, they're not as savvy as they thought they were. But to me, it's only natural. I mean, they're coming out with nice new features. They're, constantly. I mean, they had the slew of new features announced just last week, and so the product is getting better and better. And to me, it's only a matter of time. And so it's not that surprising to me.
Okay. I guess Mohammed is looking at the Justin TV chat because one of his stalkers just wrote. Well, you can read it. It's funny. I probably shouldn't share it. Okay, Mike Phillips, what do you think?
She's a good friend. She fools around.
I know. I figured it was someone who knew you. Mike Phillips, what do you think about this? 150 users, does that surprise you?
150 million users.
150 million users? Sorry. 150 would surprise me.
When I saw the number, I honestly wondered whether the number is accurate. Because whenever we were all fighting to get onto Google Plus, we saw this tremendous growth, and then all of a sudden it dropped by 60%. The next thing I hear, we're at 150 million. I'm not sure where it is. I guess it's still finding its way around. I hope that it is. I personally have seen less Google Plus activity. Of course, we're kind of early adopters as well. I'm not sure that we're the best test of how things are functioning out in the real world. But it's a good tool. It's a good resource. They're getting the bugs out of it. It's becoming easier to use. There's no reason for it not to become a good resource for more and more people to use.
I think so, and I think, like you said, adopters. Let me bring Jeff in here. The thing is, when you look at our circles, I've said this before. You are a victim of whoever you circle, right? But if you look at what's trending, yesterday I looked. I think it was the X Factor thing, Britney Spears, Justin Bieber, and Tom Cruise, of all things.
Yeah.
And so really it is kind of becoming more mainstream, right? Britney Spears, I guess, is the first person. She's the Ashton Kutcher of Google Plus. She's the first person to get over 1 million followers. She beat Alan even at that. So what do you think, Jeff? Do you buy this?
Close.
For me personally, I really don't care if it's 150 million or if it's 500 million or whatever. I kind of use it just to keep in touch with what's going on with technology, and everything else is just superfluous, right? And the Hangout features are what is most enticing to me, because I just see the benefit of this is just far-reaching. And everything, every other social network is going to, eventually have to pony up and do this as well. But yeah, I was never on Facebook. Google Plus is kind of where I learn versus interact as much as hey, today I'm going to lift weights or something. No, I want to know what about technology, what's coming out, what's happening, and Google Plus seems to be the place for that for me. And it's a learning curve, and it shortens it for me.
Bruce, you're in a college town. Have you seen a wider adoption? I mean, or is it kind of the same experience for you? Do you buy this, that it's now, I guess, what's Facebook now at 750 million?
800, last time I read.
800, so they're at a lot more than 5%. What do you think, Bruce? This is exciting, isn't it? Are you muted, Bruce? Did you mute yourself, or did I mute you?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I had my mic off. When I go into coffee shops around here, which is where a lot of college students hang out, I see more people using Google+. It's a great way to extend your brand. It's a great way to be more focused on the kind of information that you're wanting to learn and find out about. I agree with Jeff, especially following people that, like I'm so glad to be able to follow Muhammad tonight, because this Hangout extension is really amazing, and just to learn stuff like that. But I think, just like Jeff was saying, this Hangout feature is really a great hook to get people in here, and then the ability to segment who you want to communicate to, who you want to follow, rather than this huge, maniacal big picture ocean of Facebook. So yeah, I mean, in the wild, I see it more frequently than I did a few months ago.
I think it's terrific. Alan, what do you think? In fact, in deference to this new mainstream adoption, I posted my first funny cat picture today.
Stealing a
yes,
pie.
and Oleg and I agree.
Yes.
We should stop that.
You didn't think it was funny? It's on my profile, danmcdermott.net. Thanks to Mike. I still owe him $10,000 to buy the rights, but it was funny. But seriously, I think this is exciting, isn't it?
That you don't turn Google Plus into Facebook. That's all.
I mean, one. How many posts have I done? Like 10,000, and one's a funny cat picture, and it's funny. You got to admit, it's funny.
150 million seems like a high number to me. I mean, just before the 150 million estimate came out, and we have to understand this is an estimate. This isn't a number from Google itself.
Right.
I saw an estimate of 65 million. 65 million sounds a little to me, to be honest.
More realistic, yeah, I agree.
But I'm hoping that that next week, as part of their 6-month celebration, they'll give us a new number.
Yeah, I hope so.
Make something official.
Mohammed, what do you think? And we're hoping that we'll find something that Oleg and the people are clamoring for a good knockdown drag out between Oleg and Alan. But Mohammed, I think
from looking at my friends from Facebook who come into Google Plus, they still haven't come to Google Plus.
Right.
But to be fair, my mom and my aunt and my cousin, like 3 of them, they were coming to Google Plus because of Hangout. Today we signed them up. It was an awful process to sign up them, very awful. Took me maybe like 3 hours, 2 sessions, right? And they still don't figure out the UI, because UI is a geeky UI. Like, because the Googles are a bunch of engineers working on improving Google. They don't have that ungeekiness factor that will help them to say, make it ungeeky for a while. Like make it start my Hangouts easier to see, right? It's hidden in the corner, bottom right corner. Like, you have to scroll down 1 page to find out where my start a Hangout is. Make it easier to see. And the only reason why they came to Google Plus is because of the Hangouts feature. Because first of all, it's faster than Skype. You have group chat, and my family is all around the world that want to discuss. Like one is in Middle East, 1 is in Europe, 2 are in the United States, and the rest of them in Canada. It's really easy to hang out with multiple people at the same time.
I think I posted a thing.
I don't see 100 million. I see 60 less, or I don't know, because I don't see any new people. Like the exact same people hanging out hasn't been changed that much since like 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, if I open a public hangout, I'll tell you right now, public hangout right now, I'll get the exact same people that I met 3 months ago on the same hangout.
Yeah.
What do you think about? I had an idea today. I don't know if it's a novel idea, but I posted about it. But like a Vizio TV that I have, it's got Netflix built into it, Twitter, Facebook, so I can watch. It's got an Ethernet jack on the back, and it's got Wi-Fi built into the Vizio TV. If you Google Vizio, Vizio Internet apps or whatever. But what if they built Google Hangouts as an app and actually put a camera right on the television set, and with a physical slider, so you could close it to make sure it's off, so Grandma doesn't worry that someone's spying on her in the living room. And it was built into the TV. It was just idiot-proof, real simple user interface. You could. What do you think? Is that crazy? I think that would encourage mass adoption. I think the line is blurring between television and.
I was thinking of creating an extension that a software product that basically allows people an easier interface than the Hangouts is right now. A way easier interface. Like, think about it that I want to hang out with these people, right? And the first thing you see is the interface to hang out with people, and it'll automatically create the interface for you. I was going to do something like that. But the thing is it worth me doing Google's job? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, they should be the ones spending the time.
Come up with something like that and call it Dan. Call it Dan. Dan is really hot on this product. I think
it's hot, yeah. I sent a thing.
No, see, one of the things we didn't talk about, Dan, earlier is that, right now people could, if they wanted to, hook up through HDMI cable. Most PCs now have HDMI output. You can actually hook up your PC to your big TV, and of course, having a webcam right there, external webcam, you can essentially have the same setup we're talking about here.
But I'm talking about moving from the sausage factory tech geek place,
get rid of the PC,
which we have done. It's largely moved beyond that,
right.
Judging by the trending topics, right? Because I know you and I aren't talking about Tom Cruise, so somebody.
Yeah, no, there was something about Leo, but it was DiCaprio's new movie that's coming out. It's called the new version of Titanic. That's what it was.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, in order to get the quote unquote Facebook people, you've got to. I'm trying to think of a way that I won't get in trouble. A polite synonym for dumb it down. Because Mohammed's right. It's written by engineers for engineers.
Well, but it's easy for us to say, but part of that is we're used to how Facebook looks and works. It was also designed by engineers for engineers, and it still has a lot of its heritage too.
Right. And it's a much more mature product, of course.
I think what's going to happen over time is we're going to see Google, at least they better if they're have half a brain, streamline their. Aim it more towards the broader audience. Yes, I think we're going to start seeing more and more of TVs adopting, if not this, then their equivalent. I mean, I think we're seeing Apple wants to move into the same space. We're going to see Microsoft trying to move into the same space. Yeah. We're going to see a battle for who's going to do this and who's going to do it right. And Google is just going to be one of those players there.
Yeah, look at I hate to say this, but Xbox, they just released their new version. It has live video feeds in there from Hulu and Verizon and HBO Go and YouTube. So it's all that is coming together. But one thing I was talking before about the just technical. I did try to join a hangout where these people were playing guitar because I'm a guitar player, and I wanted to see how that experience would be playing live with 7 other people that you never met before. And it was very intriguing to me. I couldn't jump into it; it was already filled up. But that kind of seems fun. I mean, there are a kind of fun aspect to it as well.
Hangouts are fun, but the whole point is that it's really it's really hard for new people to come in and use it. Like, I'm serious. Like, how do you invite people, for example, right? Like, you just click on a button to invite, but what do? They have to remember their names. They have to type their names, and plus, the suggestions coming to you aren't the people in their circles only. They can come from other circles. So you might make a mistake that you're adding a person that's not in your circles.
If they make it like Skype, where
that's exactly
something buzzed on your TV or on your you click join right away. It's in, and boom, you're in. Yeah, that's where it's headed. That's where you want to go.
Well, I'm not sure this is the best way to do it, but what I've done, I manage a remote sales team for a healthcare company, and when I wanted to use Hangouts, I just sent them all an email. I opened up a Hangout. I sent them the link to the Hangout. I says, now when you click on this link, it's going to ask you. You're going to have to install the Google Talk plugin, and it'll walk you through that. Are there enough follow the Yellowbrick Road steps by going that route? Does that make it easier?
Yeah.
The way I was going to do it with the Skype thing, I was going to make an application that on the left side, you see a very nice slick look and feel of a contact list menu. And as a mother or a child, hey, I want to go and hang out. So you select the people you want, and you say start video chat. Simple as that. And what it does, it will actually open a hangout window for you, and everybody else will be invited automatically.
Well, kind of funny you say that. My mom is visiting from Florida. She's 87 years old, and one of the most painful experiences I ever did was hooking her up on Skype, and get it working. Even how simple that is was really, really hard. And you have to use software like LogMeIn or some other remote capture software to kind of do it for them.
You can't get around that. I don't think. I mean, you cannot make it so simple that they just intuitively would know.
Exactly. Right.
You got to. Mohammed, quick question for you on the side right now. Is this like right now we're looking at the Hangout list, public Hangouts? There's about 20 of them. Is that really the extent of all the public Hangouts in the Google Plus hemisphere?
Right now I have 22, but
22.
that seems 20. That seems the amount of people hanging out right now. But there might be people hanging out, for example,
privately, not public.
No, privately, and there might be people hanging out like 3 hours ago that they haven't updated their invited as well. So there might be people hanging out 5 hours ago that still have their hangout, but they haven't invited anybody else.
That seems ridiculously low, guys. That if there's 60 million or 150 million people, there have to be more than 20.
Okay, look at my hangouts now. Who are the top people hanging out? Look, first list: Brett, John Fanavan, Amanda, Liza, Cam, myself, you guys. These are all people that they're hanging out since day one. They haven't been changed, right? They're not changing. And it's really interesting to see that the regulars are hanging out more than everybody else. Like, look at the there's like over 50. There's like 10 hangouts going on. There's only one person inside. No one's coming in. No one's saying hi. And
I find it hard to believe that it's that low a number. Something's got to be wrong. If there's 60 or 150 million people, only 20 of them are hanging out with this cool feature. That's this killer app. That doesn't make any sense.
There's 20 times 10, so 200 people.
When I was looking at my Canopy thing, was the same deal.
Now, is there a reason why my list shows 13, 14, and yours is showing 20, 22?
There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have like 6, 7 limited people, limited hangouts that maybe you don't have access to. So there's a lot of limited hangouts happening right now.
Okay.
And I have to wonder just how many hangouts are actually more limited than we think. I mean, I know that most of the hangouts that I ever participate in are not public hangouts. They're hangouts with my family, they're hangouts with friends, they're hangouts with people who really have no interest in opening up to a public hangout.
And that's probably the vast majority anyway. I mean, it's natural.
I mean, I know.
Have you opened a public hangout before?
Have I? Yes.
And what do you experience in opening a public hangout?
What do you mean? What my experience?
What was your experience like opening a public hangout? The people you interacted with, and was it normal?
Yeah.
For me, I have like almost 65,000 people follow me, right? For me, opening a public hangout, especially was it's kind of sad because you see everyone around the world, people who don't speak English, people who don't talk, don't have a webcam, don't have a microphone. They come in your hangout, and it's basically you just sit there and say hello, hi, and no one speaks, no one does anything. That's why basically don't open public hangouts unless I'm doing something for like a show or a training or a tutorial.
I mean, that sounds pretty normal for a public hangout. So you asked if it was normal. That sounds perfectly normal.
Oh,
Let me ask a quick question. My buddy Linda Lowry is asking, if it's a private hangout, it'll still, if it's not public, it won't show up to the public. But if it's, does it respect groups? Like, would I see it if I had been invited?
No.
We have to stop and understand something. There is no such thing as a public versus a private hangout.
They're all the same.
They're all exactly the same. If you have a hangout that you have invited one other person to, and somehow I get the URL for that hangout, I can get into it.
Correct, but there is a difference in that it's not publicly, unless you get the URL, it doesn't appear on the page.
No. No.
How come my thing didn't show up on my page until I hit...
That's not a public versus private hangout. That's a public versus private announcement.
Well, I think there's
it's important that we understand the difference.
Because it depends what the meaning of is. I mean, come on.
No, Dan, Dan, that's like saying that you're handing out to your three closest friends that they are invited to come drink with you over at this bar.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. Okay? Now, you and those three guys are there, you're all drinking, you're having a grand old time, but there's 50 other people in the bar. Are you having a private party? Is it a public party? What is it?
I don't think that's analogous. I get what
No,
you're
it's
saying. You're
exactly
saying that
analogous.
Okay, let
anyone has
me
the URL
rephrase
can
what he's
get it.
saying.
Go ahead.
Let me rephrase what he's saying. Basically, a hangout is always public. It's always public because if someone leaks, say you have a virus program or someone leaks information from your computer and they have access to that URL, anybody with a Google account can access that URL, even if you say it's for my family, for my girlfriend, for anything. That URL is always public.
That's
It's
stream.
always public.
The stream.
So the only thing that's not, if you're differentiating between public and private, it's only the notifications in Google Plus, the posts in Google Plus. That's what tells you who sees this hangout in Google Plus. But if someone if you have an extension or a program that sniffs your stream and grabs your hangouts and put them somewhere else, or a virus that grabs your hangouts and you heard about this bug in Hangouts around 4 months ago, that's someone basically scraped all your emails from a Hangout. Basically, that bot, what it does, it jumps on every single Hangout, it just does a random sniffing, and if it's private or public, doesn't matter. You go in a Hangout, grabs emails, and gets out. Go in a Hangout, grab emails, gets out. Because Hangouts are not locked. There's no password protected Hangouts. There's no thing saying, please enter this password to enter this Hangout. Please be part of this group to enter this Hangout. They don't have that access control yet.
Even with the Dalai Lama, you could have just busted in there.
How did the guy come and busted in Dalai Lama's Hangout and yelled? You didn't see that?
Oh, I didn't.
It was Piers Morgan.
Yes, someone came in the Dalai Lama Hangout and basically didn't know it was a public Hangout or a private Hangout. They burst out because they have no
it was
control.
the guy it was a bunch of people watching the Dalai Lama hangout. You're talking about the
Oh, yeah,
TV
sorry.
personality. I don't want to
But
name him.
but the
But
thing,
yeah.
but the thing is, one of my point is saying, Google needs to figure out a way to actually put authentication in the server side to know that only these people in my circles can access this Hangout or stuff like that. They have to add that restriction because if they don't, my mom, tell you the truth, today I told my mom, do not use Hangouts, use Skype again, because she doesn't like when people snoop her conversation, her and her sister. That's private. If someone comes in by accident, I'll tell you a story. You know what happened 2 days ago? Someone, you know Trey Ratcliffe?
Yeah.
Of course you guys know Trey Ratcliffe. He used my Hangouts, okay? And he likes my Hangouts. So what happened was he actually opened my Hangouts and opened the map feature, which is pretty cool. He's like, oh, he found a couple of people living in this area next to him, right? So what he did instead, he opened the Hangout with 4 girls inside there because he likes saying hi to everyone. He's a really nice guy, a really nice gentleman. When he entered that Hangout, it was 4 girls, right? And after a second or 2 seconds, they all screamed ah! And each one blocked Trey Ratcliffe one by one, block, and he left. He was so scared. He was like, what the hell happened? He's like, I just came in, and everybody screamed because those girls didn't know it was a public Hangout. Right? They don't know it was a public Hangout because the interface is, as back to the main point, the interface is so strange in a way that it's really hard to distinguish between different Hangouts. Plus, a Hangout is never public, never private. It's always public.
That's funny.
So imagine they changed the Hangout to limited first, right? It was limited first. Then they made it. So imagine it was public first. Then they made it to limited. After they changed to limited status, it's still public.
Okay.
So,
all right, we are so late. We got to move. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish everything here. The volume slider is cool. You can. That's been one of the things you can't control. Like someone I post a lot. Someone jokingly, and I told Scoble about this. Called it the Scoble slider. In the TechCrunch comment, and he actually thought it was funny. He said it was cool. But anyway, so you can adjust by circle basis, right? So your close friends, you want to see all their posts. People who share your interest, you want to see most of their posts. People you've circled to be polite, you want to see.
Better example, Dan, would be, for example, for businesses. For example, you have people who are your clients, or your customers, and you have people who are your vendors. So what you might want to do is pay a little more attention to your customers than you do to your vendors. That would be easy to understand example.
Okay. And then,
Or competition.
because I had a girl who I know, we're friends on Facebook and we're friends in real life, but she followed her local friends, Facebook type people, and she followed me. And then she unfollowed me because I post too much. I was monopolizing her stream because normal people will post every couple days or something, and then you go through there. You got to get through Dan's 35 posts to get to, you know. So she uncircled me because of that. So I see the, you know, she probably calls it the McDermott slider. And you know, and anyone can jump in here. I'm trying to move through some of these little things.
Yeah.
Pages get Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, if there was a way that you can kind of get rid of the cartoons and, you know, some of the graphic stuff that people post and get to the, you know, if I do it by kind of technical topics versus, because if someone posts a lot of photos, I just get tired of seeing all these photos, you know. I would like to see some way of regulating photos versus other posts, you know, so you can see. That would be.
I think there's no way to do that. I think the only way you can do something like this right now would be through pages, where you stick to the topic at hand, and then you know that this particular page, Dan is only talking about his show, and then this other page, Dan is only talking about his Visio project, things like that. And so
My
I think that
Visio
would be the only way you
project.
can handle it now.
Yeah,
I need you, Mohammed.
has to be a way to do it
That's your
with the
project
tag,
for this weekend. I want you to bust out a Vizio widget so I can hang out on my 32-inch LED, 120 hertz, blah blah blah. All right, pages get multi-admin control. I know, Alan, you've been just frothing at the mouth for this.
I have been. This is a much anticipated feature, and it's about time they did it. But you know, in a lot of ways, they were very clever. They were very careful. A lot of what they did with it is very well done. And then they just totally screwed it up. In order to invite an admin, in order to essentially allow for a new manager, they call them. There's one administrator and multiple managers. In order to do that, you have to know the email address for the manager you want to invite. It doesn't assume that this person's already on Google+, which is nice, but if the person is already on Google+, you have to know their email address, which is kind of stupid. But otherwise, they paid a lot of close attention to implementing it, and they did a relatively good job.
Okay. Anybody else got a quick comment on this?
Yeah, plus you can delegate. You don't have to have a manager that's within your organization. You can actually delegate to some other person to run it. Like, for example, if you are a business and you hire some guy to do all the social media for you, then you can go ahead and just let them handle it by delegating it to them.
Yeah.
So you can either have people within your organization doing it, or you can delegate it to somebody like a third party doing it.
A couple other things real quick. The photo lightbox got tweaked. It's prettier. Improved link handling. It used to be a hassle. If you wanted to email someone a link or grab a link to a post for some purpose, like to put it on Facebook, for example, or Chimed In, because Chimed In has that horrible character limit. And but anyway, you used to have to click on the thing, say link to this post, then it would open a new tab, then you'd have to switch to the new tab, then you'd have to click on the URL, right click, copy, and then go to whatever you wanted to do. Now you just click on that and you say link to this post, and it puts a little box up where you can easily
Well, it already highlights it for you. All you have to do at that point
Right.
is just hit Control-C.
it saves several clicks,
Right.
and
It
like
does.
1.2 seconds per share, so that's
Yeah,
exciting.
my only gripe with that thing is, why not, if you're going to go through the trouble of putting a link to this post being nothing more than the URL highlighted, why not just have a tiny little link called permalink right next to date or something, and just when people right click on that, it's going to essentially give you browser's ability to copy the link.
Well, here's the thing.
That could be in every single post,
Here-
right on the bottom,
here-
right?
Exactly.
Guys, here's the thing. It's always been there. There has always been this link as part of every single post since day one.
But
The thing is, it's always been hidden underneath the time. If you
One
always
problem.
right-clicked on the time, you could always get the URL.
right,
Are you
but
serious?
no,
Yes.
it is.
I
But
didn't
the
know
problem
that.
is from
Since
what
day one.
Test this out.
Alan, but you said earlier it doesn't work with multiple logins.
Yeah, but neither does this new one.
I didn't know that. That's even
Okay.
better than the new feature they did.
That's always been there, Dan.
It's
That's
like
always
trying to
been-
find the permalink for a Twitter post. My God. I always have to like, man, how do I can't remember how to do
or
this.
Right, yeah, they
and to be honest, this is a place where Google stole the idea from Facebook. Facebook does the same thing.
Right.
yeah.
So
Interesting.
you know, we can say that they should put it there. They should put it more obvious. It's a kind of hidden. It's kind of stupid. Yeah, but this is what everyone else has been doing all along.
See,
so
Yeah.
they just
I am-
they just stole the idea.
I am obviously fairly a tech geek, but not to the ridiculous level like Oleg, Allen, and Mohammed. I'm like a in-between consumer and tech geek, and I'm obviously a Google Plus evangelist and enthusiast, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know that until you just said it. So I learned
Yeah.
something. See, everyone can learn something on Google Plus Week.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll
It's one of these deals where they took it from the other people, assuming that the other people know how to use it there, so they intuitively would know how to use it here, instead of actually doing the right thing and calling it what it should have been called, instead of hiding it behind the date link. I mean, I think they screwed up on that deal.
Well, I don't know if it was hiding. I should have just explored more. Okay, so the next thing, moving right along, notifications are prettier. You just look at your notifications and notice they're different. I don't know how we can.
You like them?
I don't know. It's
Some-
definitely
some.
prettier, don't you think? But I don't know if it
It's really confusing for me on my eyes to see.
really.
Like it's too much. Like if I get a lot of notifications a day, right? And
Right.
if I look at it, it's like it needs more work to make it more beautiful. It seems too, what do you call that word? Too much stuff to be shown at once.
Well, did you? Okay, before, if you had, it was a real hassle if you had more than 10 notifications, which I'm
Right.
sure you have every 3 minutes, Mohammed, because you have like God knows how many followers. But it was a real hassle. And then when you went, when you click on it, but now it'll say 15 or 20 or 30 or whatever you have, right? And then I think that's cleaner. If you have more than 10, you don't run into that, oh God, I've got to deal with this. But yeah, it is different. It's going to take some getting used to, like most of the stuff on here. So you don't like it. You're not a fan.
I think the biggest complaint I've heard of it so far are the people who are going, hey, they used to have a link that says link to this post, and that link has disappeared.
But now you can click on the
You can
on
click
the
on
time.
the time.
Yeah.
And
But that's not apparent. Like tell my mom that. How would my mom
Nope.
figure that out?
nope. But again, well, the one, to their credit, this now at least makes it consistent with what the main post looks like. And as we just discussed, this is something they stole from elsewhere, assuming that everyone would follow along knowing it.
Right.
Well, they're
Do I
going to
think
get
it's good?
feedback.
No, I don't. But it's consistent.
Luckily, everyone in the world is an engineer and can understand these things.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone is an engineer.
right.
Like Peter, look at this for example. You see this right here, on my screen.
Yes.
Go back.
Go ahead.
Basically, what you see is look at this. My friend George, he did a +1 for me right here, right? But look how much space he's using. He's using about like 100 pixels, 200 pixels in height. Like, why is he using that much space? It's like I can't.
Yeah, but remember what that
But
looked like before. Before, there was a lot of text that was crammed together. It wasn't obvious whether the notification was about someone +1ing, or if the notification was about someone responding to a post, or if the notification was someone +1ing a comment.
Yeah, but it's the thumbnail that's setting the size, right?
Yeah.
Well,
No.
they've now made the thumbnail heights consistent. They're in this case they were going for a consistent interface that tried to present all of the information, as opposed to the way it was done before, where it was all kind of crammed together and it was far less obvious about what was going on. Do I think it's the best? No, I think it's better than it was before, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they should add filters here, like filter by like specific type of post.
Yep. That would
Like
be
I
right.
want to see only which
Plus
hangouts
ones.
are going on right now, which photos are going on right now, which reshares are going on. That'll make it more interesting.
That's a
Well,
problem
when-
that because you have so many people who follow you and you interact with that because you're a developer and just awesome dude. It's a problem that not everyone would have. Someone who just has their 6 or 7 friends.
Yeah, but
wouldn't be
Dan,
at all impacted
the
by
people who
this.
have just the people who have just 6 or 7 friends aren't going to need the volume control either.
Correct.
And that-
So some of these things apply to the.
No, you still have the option like you do right now. It just if you add Mohammed's features, then you cover everybody. This
Right,
way, you don't cover
right.
him or people
Why,
like him.
yeah, why not add it? That's
Exactly. No, absolutely. That would be an excellent feature.
All right, another thing you can. This was a gripe. You can. I guess you can start a Hangout from your Android phone.
Yes, I just got a new phone and I did that.
Bruce does that sometimes. I did it once, and the whole time I was thinking, God, I hope a cop doesn't see me, because I can't imagine what kind of, especially in Canada, Mohammed. Can you imagine? You can't even talk on the phone, let alone have a video conference. I can't imagine how much trouble you'd be in Canada.
Yeah, you get fined, I think, $100 or $50, something like that, if you use the phone while in the car.
But you can use a hands-free device. You just can't hold the phone and talk.
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
You should know. You work for RIM, right? You are the
It's
phone.
it's a
You
number
are
one
the
company
phone
to work.
man.
It's the number one company to work for in Canada. I really like it. I really like them. It's just that investors don't like us.
They've had a banner year. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna pick
No
on RIM.
comment.
No, I like it. I was a. I've had. In fact, I still own a BlackBerry Tour. But anyway, RIM's a great company. And
It is.
a great
I have a
employer in
very nice-
Canada.
I have a very nice phone. It's my RIM phone.
What is that? Which one is that?
The Torch.
The Torch?
Mhm.
That's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's
And there
very
are
cool.
rumors that they're considering some kind of Android implementation on future playbooks.
We already have Android implementation on future devices. It's like basically the RIM thing is we let anyone develop any language they want. So developers will have a freedom developing any language they want on a phone. So C++, Java, Flash, Android, all can be run on a QNX device.
So the playbook that Dan just talked about, because they've been discounted, a ton of money. You can actually put a different operating system on that.
This is amazing. I have like 4 of those.
You get
for
a
Christmas.
discount, right? You probably just take
Yeah.
them home from work.
No discount. I get 50% off. Yeah.
You probably stick them in your bag and get through security.
No, but the thing about the playbook is that it's a QNX device. It's a real-time operating system, and it's really powerful. That you can put C++ apps, you can put Flash apps, Java apps, any apps you want, and you can't do that with any other tablet.
What do you guys think? This reminds me of the security issues they had with some countries that were upset because you have the tightest security, and they were upset that after the Mumbai episode. But now I think I'm just curious on the I guess Facebook and what is it? I forget the other service. Facebook and somebody. India is saying that they're going to have to clean up like some posts that they don't like, and this gets to kind of a SOPA thing. But what about that? This thing in India where they're saying that if they have to, I forget what it is, but basically any kind of pre-censorship would make these services no longer available for free. No possible way. If you had to pay someone to watch every YouTube video or every Facebook post and then approve it, there's no way you could give the service away. I think what they should do, I don't know if anyone saw this thing. I know Reuters has it on their technology or internet section, but I think they should just cut a country off and let everyone freak out.
No, wasn't it? I think it was the encryption that with the.
Well, that I jumped topics too quick. There's a news
Yeah.
story out in the last couple of days where India is ordering Facebook and Twitter or somebody to clean up
Facebook, Twitter, and Google.
Facebook, Twitter, and Google to clean up offensive or salacious or whatever posts. And this gets to the whole thing is you have to act on complaint or you cannot give it away. If you have to pre-approve every post, there's absolutely no way you can give the service away. And so I think what they should do is just to make the point with SOPA, which is a well-intentioned but apparently horrible implementation, that they should just cut a country off and say, okay, you can't have Facebook anymore, and just let people freak out and march in the streets. It'll be like Egypt all over again.
It's
If
China.
they cut a country off from Facebook and Google. Well, Google obviously, China,
Yeah.
minimal impact, but I don't know. That's my mini rant. Okay. Alan, you got create a Gmail and Google Plus account from feature phones.
Yeah. Now, if you have a phone that's not quite smart enough to be an Android or an iPhone, and you're using and you want to sign into Google and create a new account, you're able to do so. And when you create your new account, you can get access to your Gmail and to Google Plus immediately. This is from phones that are almost but not quite smart phones.
An example, like a Boost Mobile.
I have no idea what Boost Mobile actually uses.
I think
underneath
Oleg has a
nowadays.
Boost Mobile. Yeah, there you go.
No, but This is from phones like Windows Phone.
Okay.
Actually, speaking of phones that actually are smart, is it not possible to join a Hangout from both a smartphone and desktop at the same time? Is that the deal?
That I don't know.
Have you heard Michael Elgin? Mike Elgin?
Yes.
He had a post last time about that. Like last night, you can check his page. Basically, the way Hangouts work, you can join the same Hangout more than once from different devices, different computers.
No, here's what
Been
happens.
like that since 5 months.
I click on join this Hangout, and it comes up with a little message that says, couldn't enter Hangout, try again. Even though we don't have full Hangout.
Okay, I realized that when I test my Android, I think that's only there because it's an on-live Hangout. They don't support that.
I see.
If it was a regular Hangout, you can join.
I was
On-live
thinking you could
Hangout, can't
scam
join
it to
via-
put 20 people in. Because I have, like, with Wirecast, which is what I use, or if you use TriCaster or whatever, there are different programs. But you could scam it. You could have a Hangout on one computer, capture the screen, and shoot it to bring it in, and have, you could have, like, I guess you could have, like, probably 80 different people in a Hangout if you scammed it right. Use one as the central point. I could do that. I know I could do that just as a. I should probably do that just as a hack, but then I get in trouble. Vic will be mad at me or something.
Rick will take your on air back.
Oh,
I know.
Steve Ward and I and many others like Peter, and we actually opened I think 20 persons in a Hangout by basically having. He had something called some service he pays. He puts 4 people per screen, right? So then you have 10 plus 4, that's 14.
Mm-hmm.
Then another guy, he dialed in using the voice feature for dialing in Hangouts, the calling
Yep.
the phone. He hooked up a Hangout with another Hangout through this phone, and through this window he screen shared the other Hangout. So you have 10 plus 10 plus 4 plus 3. That's how many people you have hanging out. So 23 people hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
I bet I could get about 80 or 90 if I had
If you have
volunteers.
different-
If I had 9 computers, I only have 5. I'm not going to Wally World and getting a bunch more computers.
But you can do it as virtual machines, different virtual machines.
Right, exactly. You could do that. Yep. Because different IP addresses.
But I mean, you'd have just
No,
do it for
different
20 to
computers,
prove your
because the
point.
plugin the Google Talk plugin can only run once per computer,
Mm-hmm.
per session, because
Yeah, but
it's a
when you
shared
do a-
plugin.
Yeah, when you do a virtual machine, you can assign it a different IP as well. So
We're
You
totally
don't care about
lost.
IPs at that point. You only care about if the plugin is running or not. So if you have different machines that don't have the plugin running, then you can run that plugin. You can have
Mhm.
another person joining and hanging out.
Okay, we're
Like, I
kind of
did that
losing
for
all the
3D.
mainstream audience. I'm afraid we're losing all the grandmas watching Google Plus Week. All right, that'd be a fun experiment. Maybe we'll try it sometime. And I've thought about it, but I don't want to get in trouble. All right, and then create another. Oh, this sounds more like Oleg. Another game not to care about. Gardens of Time. There's a new edition.
That's not me.
I'm just picking on Oleg.
No, they added a number of games. They added Uno. They added
They
some
had
other
Uno? Really?
Yeah, it's a little different version, but it is. It's got some thing you can do some more stuff than regular Uno. But yeah, they've added that, and they've added a number of games. Still no chess though.
Oh, we
Bonds.
lost Alan. Okay, I've got his topics here, and he's gone.
I'll cover it.
And then I guess the Muppets hung out in a new Google ad. I haven't seen it. Has anybody seen it?
no.
Now,
Okay, it's kind of a bummer. I guess there's a link here. Or I don't know. It doesn't matter. All right.
here's Alan.
Let me get to. We got to wrap it up pretty soon because we're way too long. And SOPA, the Stop Online Piracy Act, and then in the Senate there's PIPA, which is the Protect IP Act, but has a different longer name. And everything I've read about it, I support. The goal is to stop these these sites that wholesale steal content and stream it. But there's all this criticism, and I don't want to get into so much what's awful about it, because everyone I respect is against it, and everyone who's like a lobbyist or a politician is for it. And I actually have one congressman who I've known for 25 years, and I first met at a lunch with my best friend 25 years ago, and I've interviewed him as recently as this year, and he is a major proponent. He's on the committee, and I'm going to be talking to him shortly because I talked to my friend who's a senator, and I was like, I'm really freaked out about this. I'm not going to name names. I said I'm really upset about this because I don't understand how he can be for this bill. And he's on the committee, and he's a big proponent. He's quoted everybody. And Linda and I have a connection with this guy as far as geographically. But anyway, so I'm going to look into that. But I want to know what your guys' prediction is, because I see you saw what happened today. Anonymous came out with a video about GoDaddy being a prominent supporter. GoDaddy, the CEO, the guy who shoots elephants still. And then Anonymous put this incredibly intimidating video out, and then GoDaddy announced that they were no longer supporting SOPA. So I want to get
well, it's more than just Anonymous. I mean, there was a
it's a million people, but that was just timing. That was coincidental timing.
There was a huge drive for people to switch away from GoDaddy. In fact, I believe at least one of their competitors, if not more, said, "Look, we're against SOPA, and if you want to switch to us, we'll cut you a good deal. Just use this coupon code, no SOPA."
Then the I Can Has Cheeseburger guy said he said he had 500 domains. He bought I Can Has Cheeseburger and then expanded it. Hundreds and hundreds of domains. Said he was going to switch them all. I'm sure they saw this like, oh dear, this is a big thing. They actually helped write Pipa, and they're still supporting Pipa, I believe. Am I pronouncing that right? Is it Pipa or Pipa? I don't know. I don't know if it matters.
It's a bad word in Russian, by the way, so stop saying it.
I'm sorry. See, I got to watch it because in Greece you can't put your hand up because you're cursing someone's family. There's all these different things that I've learned over the years, but I haven't had the luxury of going to
here's what it comes down to, though, about SOPA.
Original home country. Go ahead, Alan.
Here's what it comes down to about SOPA. It was moderately well intentioned. I mean,
they wanted to stop piracy.
Well,
they
wanted to stop piracy. They wanted to give the studios massive control to do so. That's really what it fundamentally boils down to. Yeah. It makes it a felony. It gives a company ultimate power in bringing the felony, not the government, a company. And it takes away due process.
The whole thing is, I have sung songs. If you look me up, like I'm a singer, right? I did karaoke for 14 or 15 years. I DJ'd, and I still do it once in a while. And I like doing it. And I have some YouTube videos up that are copyright infringement, I guess, obviously, because I'm singing a cover song.
But here's the thing, Dan.
But they can advertise and they get the money. I'm not trying to make any money, and it's like 1,000 views. It's not a big deal. It's just fun to show my friends. And I'd be a felon under this bill. I would be a felon. Justin Bieber would be a felon. The Journey singer, they'd lock him up on stage and take him away because he's a felon, because he sang cover songs on YouTube.
But here's the thing. YouTube, there's already a method in place to be able to address these issues on YouTube. There's a method in place to address these issues on any site that claims to want to handle potentially copyrighted material. Okay, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act puts safe harbors in place, it puts protections in place, it puts methods in place to deal with these issues outside of court, deal with it one-on-one from a copyright holder and the people who are hosting the content. And the copyright holders have been abusing this privilege. And now the copyright holders are saying, hey, that wasn't good enough. We now want to be able to get these people charged with felonies. We want to be able to go after their money source, and we want to be able to go after whole websites and take them down without having to bother the federal government, the court system, or those little pesky things like laws.
Right. It's equivalent to using an atom bomb to kill a mosquito.
Mohammed,
it's going to pop up someplace else. It's they won't be able to enforce it, and then try to make an example out of one poor schmuck, and they'll get squashed, right? So it's not.
And it's horribly abstract in terms of there's so many different things you can do in terms of taking the websites down. Just because you feel that somebody, copied 2 notes that are similar to 2 notes that you put in your song. It's
Here's
ridiculous.
the thing. You've got a bunch of lobbyists for the entertainment industry and the politicians who they donate money to advocating for this. And everyone's smart, I know, that I respect. Sergey Brin on down is against this thing. And there's a bunch of politicians and lawyers who are for it. So, right there, this is not a Jimmy Stewart-supported bill. Mohammed, let me ask you, don't you think instead of just griping about it, that the intellectual community should come together and come up with an alternative suggested way to deal with this? Because there is a problem where, I mean, offshore sites can just blatantly stream in mass quantities all kinds of copyrighted content, and it does diminish the value of the original work. What don't you think it's time for them to instead of just to put up or shut up? I mean, to come up with an alternative instead of expecting these moronic politicians to do so?
Well, I think all the entertainment industry are morons, to tell you the truth. They don't understand the meaning of digital content, in my opinion. Because if you look at it, why didn't Blockbuster do what Netflix did? Why didn't Warner Bros. Like the emotion of diskettes or paper? Like they didn't like videotapes or CDs. They didn't like any of those. So like they're really behind. They're really non-innovative people. They don't understand the digital world. Like, why am I paying myself $9 a month or $8 a month for Netflix? I can go out and download whatever I want, but I still pay $9 a month for Netflix because I like the way of going in and viewing stuff really easily. So if they create a system that makes us pay $5 a month, pay $10 a month, but to view stuff easily without advertising, without anything like that on the TV or on the internet for free, not for free, like an easy way to interface, I think people will buy that. People will actually pay the money to watch these stuff. If they create good movies, stuff that doesn't suck, we go watch Lord of the Rings, we go watch Batman, but create good movies. Like, I'm not gonna pay $10 to go watch a chick flick that I'm never gonna watch before, right? Like, do they expect people are gonna pay money to watch this movie if it was not free, for example? Do you expect that? I think they misunderstand the notion of that. They made more money this year than they made last year on entertainment business. That's what has been proven with the money they're making. They're like, more people watch movies in the cinema than the previous years this year, for example. Like all the big movies that came out this year. If they make good movies, if they make it, let them concentrate on making stuff that is really good, and make sure that they know about digital content. Let them allow us to view stuff online. Let them allow us to order rentals online. But it's not like that anymore. They don't understand the meaning of internet.
They want to keep it on the cable model, and one of the problems with the cable model versus this, excuse me, is right now with cable television they pay per subscriber. So it could be anywhere from 25 cents to $4 or more for like an ESPN hot station, a must-have. And often they will, like Fox News, when they started, they actually paid the cable companies to carry Fox News Channel. Now it's popular, and now Fox News Channel gets paid to be carried. But then other channels are starting out. That's why Oprah, she didn't start a cable channel. She made a deal with Discovery to turn one of their health channels into OWN, the Oprah Network television channel. But it's a big difference. See, if they went to a la carte or the streaming options like this, it's less money. Because right now, if you have a cable system with 100,000 people in it, then that cable system, they get 100,000 people, say times $2 or $4, that's $200,000. Whereas if it was a la carte, how many people actually watch it? How many people are actually going to pay? And so you're going to have less money for the content producers. The system right now is great for them and lousy for the consumer.
I'm gonna jump in and kind of say that the movie industry has to move to digital streaming because it's going to happen, and it's happening now. They used to fight. The DVDs used to come out 6 months after the movie was released. Now it's like 3 months, and it'll just get compressed. And once they can get their handle on how they can control the stream and control that portion of it, they are going to stream those new releases in real time right away, save the distribution costs. Cinemas are going away. I mean, that's going to be the way of the world. It's going to happen.
I don't think
that's what they said.
They're not going away.
It never went there.
That's why they keep innovating with things like 3D
that are more money.
That's why they keep innovating with things like 3D on these blockbusters like Avatar, because it's very difficult and expensive for you to duplicate that experience in your home. Most people don't have 3D surround sound and 3D giant screen in their home.
Why did everyone like back in the day, 10 years ago, everybody loved downloading music. Everybody loved downloading this because it was easier for them. But why didn't the entertainment industry understand us?
Right.
Like they
were forced to. It took Steve Jobs. It took Steve Jobs. That's one of the things he's credited with. they were against it. I mean, with Napster and with sharing the original
And that
Napster,
made
not the legal
Steve
version.
Jobs a lot more richer than before, the richest
Exactly.
tech company in the
Because
world.
he was
I mean,
smart.
here's
He
what it is.
realized
The
it's
he
about
understood the vision
entertainment
of
industry,
streaming.
the entertainment industries were saying that they were going to go out of business if something didn't
Yes.
happen.
But that's not the
They, how much they're making record profits for the past 10 years because of the iPod.
See, their problem is they invest too much money for a film, right? And then the film, if the film does not make, they have to have like 5 winners. They got 100 losers, right? And that 5 winners has to make 300 million.
Here's the thing again. Here's the thing again. Back in the 50s, the movies were saying they were going to go out of business because of these idiots starting up called television. Okay? To be honest, I am tired of the entertainment industry saying, cater to us or we're going to go out of business.
Every
Because
industry
time and
does that,
again, they've
Alan.
shown
Every
they are
industry,
liars.
every industry is trying to protect themselves. The
Right.
bottom
They
line
don't
is
wanna-
they have. Even Simon Cowell just said, he said America makes the best movies in the world. It has the best singers in the world, and I mean you could say Bollywood's great, all this stuff. But you can't beat a Steven Spielberg or
No question, Dan.
Come on,
No.
and these guys
But-
will
but
come out
Dan,
and they'll
Dan,
create this content, and and
but-
it costs them $100 million to make the movie. But it's got to gross $1 billion. Avatar. Remember the criticism because they were spending too much money on it, and everyone was
But
like,
it's-
"Oh, Murdoch's
but-
screwed up by
But
sponsoring
here's the
this
thing.
movie."
Let's go look at
and then it
Simon
made it was
Cowell.
the biggest
Let's
ever.
go look at what Simon Cowell is doing. Simon Cowell has now turned around and said, "Hey, the entertainment industry finding their starlets, building their starlets, that's the wrong way to do it.
Right.
I can, on the cheap, run a television show and find the next 5 major rock stars." And he can do it
It's
cheap,
genius. It's
and
genius.
he can sign them to a record label, and he can make money on it.
And
It's
you can
genius,
see that
and they're
what
good at
Apple
that. They've
did-
got that formula show that's they're in different
But here's the
countries
thing,
and they work.
Dan. Take that formula and put it on YouTube instead, and you're going to find hundreds and hundreds of people
Absolutely.
They
making
figured that out. They're
not
doing
billions
that
of
now.
dollars,
They're
but
doing that
thousands
now.
of dollars each.
They're doing that now, and the cost. I mean, to do what I'm doing here would have cost, it cost me $10,000. It would have cost $1 million 10 years
Exactly.
ago.
I have
The
a
gap
I have
is
a buddy.
narrowing. It's the democratization of entertainment, but it's still about But still, Spielberg is always going to be better than some kid, but it's more democratic, and it allows.
It's not that. It's like what Muhammad said. Why not give people a choice? Pay
Exactly.
$5 a month, $10 a month, and get whatever channels you want.
It's like a cell
Okay.
phone.
Oh, a la
Look at cell
carte is
phones. Look at
great, but the problem is
proliferation,
they,
Let's not
they
look
would
at
make
cell
less
phones.
money
Look at
with
that
a la
example.
carte.
No, cell phones are a great example. Before, cell phones used to be expensive plans with limited. Now, a 8-year-old, 10-year-old has a cell phone, and they're on a family plan for $9 a month.
Yep.
Right. So that is the example. And they are making a ton of money because.
And there's some example. Look at Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck went off regular cable TV, started his own deal for $5 a month. You can get his content. A lot of people will start doing this.
All
Hey,
right.
Dan,
Yeah.
you asked 10 minutes ago, where's the alternative to SOPA? There is an alternative to SOPA. It's called Open.
Okay. All right.
It's called Open. It is and I'm trying to find out what it stands for right
And these
now.
the
But
companies.
Senator Wyden and Representative Issa, Democrat from Oregon, Republican from California, have introduced it. They're promoting it. This is a valid, viable alternative. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect either. But it does establish a way to do this through the court system and through a review process, so that you don't give absolute power to the companies who have a vested interest in shutting people down that they don't like.
Okay, we are way over. Last thing, I'm going to start with Mohammed, and let's go, because I told him the show's about an hour, right? And then we started late, and then we had the crash, my introduction to the live Hangout issues. All right, the Facebook lawsuit for using users' images to promote products, where it'll say, check out, check out the new Ford Taurus or whatever. Oleg and Mike and Mohammed like this, right? And they don't know that their name's being used, but they happen to like that page, and someone's doing a promoted page. Is this stupid, or is this serious, Mohammed? What do you think?
I think Facebook is just a bunch of kids running around. They don't know what they're doing. It's completely stupid.
You mean
Like they don't respect privacy. I'm really.
they just settled on that issue? A big money, right?
Whatever.
They settled on the issue, and then the very next day they went and violated their own agreement.
I know.
It's really
Like, I'm again. You know what I did before? Like I'm so fed up by Facebook. It's unbelievable that I lost respect of them since day one. I even talked to them. I did a lot of stuff with them. I lost respect with them since a long time. Like the only way to fix their image is if they hire people that will actually allow them to fix their image. Because the ones they have there, they don't know how to speak to the public in the right way. Like when it first came out, the whole issue with email privacy and stuff like that. Like I made an extension for that, and they actually. You remember the Facebook export extension I made a long time ago?
Oh, I remember that was my introduction to you. Yeah. And then they nuked it after a couple days, right?
They nuked it after 5 days, and it gained like 100,000 people downloading it and used it. But my point is saying they really don't care about privacy. Like, if you look at their page right now, the advertisement page, they tell you Facebook needs money from advertisements. You saw that?
At the top of everyone's wall now, there's this nice big banner ad from Facebook that says, "Here's how Facebook makes money. We sell advertising." They're trying to now sell people on the concept of selling your privacy.
Exactly.
Google doesn't do that yet.
Well, of course Google does it.
I
in
wish
their
they
own
would
way.
have an ad.
Soon they will.
Yeah, they will. They will. And and I have no problem with that. I would welcome some ads on the relevant ads. But yeah, I've often said on that same point you were making, Mohammed. I said before I thought that Zuckerberg really needs an Eric Schmidt. He needs somebody with a couple gray hairs on their head to be in charge, because a 20-something can't. I mean, a movie's been made about him, and he's a billionaire, and everyone kisses his ass all the time. And,
yeah, but Zuckerberg's absolutely not going to bring in someone to be, make decisions for him.
One of the
things that's just something his mentality doesn't allow for that.
Well, but
It's
it
the Harvard
should, because
dropout
this is the
ego.
thing Arrington said. Michael Arrington at TechCrunch. He said he had the guts to hire a CEO to be his boss. I mean, obviously she wasn't truly his boss, but to basically run the business. And he said that was a turning point. And then she just left, and there was all this big hubbub. And on Gilmore Gang, he raked Ariana Huffington on Ariana Huffington's own site. Now he raked her over the coals. It was pretty dramatic and funny. But yeah, it's a lot of drama about that. But anyway, I think on the SOPA thing, I hope it doesn't pass or it gets fixed. And I don't think it's going to pass. But the problem is it's such a complicated issue that most people don't understand it, or their eyes will glaze and they don't realize what's going on. And on the Facebook thing, someone in the chat room on Justin TV said, if you follow a product, why would you object to being associated with it? And if you follow it, it's public that it says you like it. It'll say it on your wall that Mohammed Mansour likes RIM, and then when you go to RIM's page, it'll say any one of his Facebook friends. It'll say on there that Mohammed likes this, right? So why would you object to it being in an ad? That's
because it's up to Mohammed. It's not up to them to determine that. That's why you object. It's not their job to determine what Mohammed wants to say based on his likes.
I'm not a sales rep. I'm not a sales rep for a product unless I get paid.
If he wants
Isn't
to
it in the
say
fine
something,
print,
he'll
though?
say it.
I walked into a Target yesterday, and they have all these screen printed T-shirts, and they have an entire line of just soda products that Pepsi and Mountain Dew and all printed on these T-shirts, and I thought it was very interesting. These companies should be paying us to wear these T-shirts that we buy for. It was $9.99 to buy this T-shirt, and then we put it on and we walk around and we're advertising Pepsi and Mountain Dew and whatever else. And I just found, that's something actually I would do. So I'm not judging, but I found it very ironic.
Here's the other thing about liking in Facebook. A lot of times you need to like in Facebook. You need to like a page in order to follow it. So, for example, you can now be liking the Ku Klux Klan just because you want to follow their page. And if they take out advertising, poof, you're now associated with being in favor of the Ku Klux Klan, even though all you wanted to do was follow their page.
All right, let me give you an analogy here. Let's take this to its logical conclusion, okay? Let's say, okay, we got Muhammad here, who's a very well-known guy, and we've had other folks, but let's take Muhammad. What if I did an ad on I'm not going to do this. But what if I put an ad up on Google AdWords and said, watch Google Plus Week, featuring famous people like Mohammed Mansour or whoever.
Not
right?
without his permission.
Well, it's true that he was on the show, right? So technically,
was.
I'm stating a factual purpose. It's a fact that Muhammad probably clicked the like button on RIM's Facebook page. That is factual information, right?
Okay.
So if they if one of his friends goes to Facebook and sees an ad for it, and it says factually that Muhammad at some point clicked the like button for RIM, that's factual information. Is that any different? Is that any different from them saying the president uses our phone? The president of the United States can choose any phone he wants, and he chooses our phone because it's the best. Could Obama sue? He does in fact use BlackBerry.
Yes, he can.
If they just say it, or if they
They're
use
not
his
allowed
image.
to. No, because that's considered an endorsement by the president, and that's not allowed.
I'm sure that they don't keep it a secret that the president of the United States has a BlackBerry with probably a guy with some giant suitcase making it locked down. What do you think, Mohammed? And then we got to roll soon.
Muhammad is the guy. Actually.
Well, Oleg has a point, because even if you put the person on his show once, can you say people? I don't know, but he's been on a show, right? If you had an average, say, people like Bill Gates, Obama were on the show before. I don't know, that's kind of touchy subject, but if it's, I don't know, that's a hard subject.
Don't forget another thing.
If it's a public figure versus private, that's another argument against what I'm saying, public versus private figure.
One more thing. Forget about public-private. One more thing. A lot of companies do sweepstakes on Facebook, and the only way you can sign up for the sweepstakes is by clicking the like button. That's how you get to the form. So first of all, the like button is worthless anyway. It doesn't mean squat, because people are basically bribed to click on the like button just so they can, join the sweepstakes so they can win something they're not going to win.
Yeah, because I prefer the +1 approach, calling it that, because it's not necessarily an endorsement. It's just drawing attention to it. It's saying, wow,
Exactly.
It could be a number of things.
Even more importantly, in Google Plus, you can follow a page without having to +1 it. In Facebook, you can't.
That's optionally set, I think. I think you can see posts, but it's optional.
No, but then I've got multiple offers saying, go get this or do this by clicking on our like button. They force you to click on the like button if you want to take advantage of whatever offer, whatever situation.
The worst thing that they do is those horrible news apps. I got a friend of mine who writes for the Washington Post, and she'll put her links, and I see them, and then every once in a while I click on it, and it's like, you agree to, and I was like, no. And so I back up, and then I highlight the thing, and I right-click, and I say search in a new tab for this title, and then I find it on the web, because I'll be damned if I'm going to install any of these apps that will tell everybody if someone starts reading ridiculous things and it gets out in the public and you have a odd moment.
Facebook, simple association apparently is conjoined with liking something, and that's not a valid association. If I just want to look at a page, doesn't mean I like them. It doesn't mean I endorse them. It doesn't mean that I think positive things about them. But what it does apparently mean is that they can use my name in an ad to say that I do.
Okay.
And that's false.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's what it boils down to.
Absolutely.
The Facebook advertising policy may be misrepresenting me, and I don't know that they're doing it.
Yeah, I think it's you may have the fact that you don't know about it and the fact that they're charging for it. That's a different thing. Just like in fair use laws, which is totally not analogous at all, but there is a difference between if you're charging for it or if you're doing it for a nonprofit, or if it's just some random thing, or if it's something you're selling commercially. But anyway, okay, I got to conclude the public thing and stop this stuff. Y'all are welcome to hang out after, but let me just go through a quick round robin. I'm going to start from the right here. Oleg, I just say right for physical reference on the screen there.
Yes.
Oleg, always a pleasure. Any final thoughts as we conclude the? I guess this is the last. No, we have one more this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have one more this year. Oleg, what do you think, buddy?
I think they've done a lot of, introduced a lot of good features. I mean, definitely useful stuff. It was a pleasure to meet Mohammed today, and I think he's done an excellent job on his stuff, and very nice to meet you, Mohammed. And I think Google, they're trying, I mean, they may not be perfect, but, based on the conversation we just had about Facebook, way above and beyond in terms of what Facebook is. And so they just need to continue to, push the deal. And, they came out with all these features we talked about last week, and they came out with new features this week. And they said they're going to come out with more stuff before the end of the year. I think it's exciting to watch all this stuff unravel, come out, especially with people like Mohammed being part of the mix.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Mohammed, this has been a heck of a year, hasn't it, for Google Plus? It's, only 6 months, and already it's somewhere between 10% and 15 or 20% of Facebook.
The funny part of Google Plus is that the funny part.
You're good.
Oops, we just lost him.
I can hear you. I can see your hand. Are we losing him? See, this was the beginning of the end last time. So.
Yeah.
Basically,
He's back.
what I want to say is that it's kind of funny in Google that not many Googlers use Google Plus. It's if you noticed, it's really not many people use it, and I hope they understand the meaning of social, because they're a bunch of geeks at the end, running the show.
They're engineers,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, they should make sure the user interface is easy to use, not only for geeks per se. Like, why you have to press plus something to talk, like to mention a person. Like, there must be an easier way to do that. If they understand the meaning of social and make sure it's easy to use for non-geeks, then they have a chance to become better than Facebook. But right now, Facebook, everyone uses Facebook. Like, every single person uses Facebook.
I don't.
I mean,
Oleg, that doesn't surprise me. Oleg's the
no, you know what I mean. I meant
yeah.
Like they have to understand that the people need. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but we'll see what new stuff they have. We'll see. We'll see.
All right, and then Mike Phillips. You're in North or South Carolina?
I'm still in North Carolina.
Still in North Carolina. You haven't
Yes.
gone to buy fireworks yet. Did you have a good Google Plus week? We've been missing you. I see you, and just like Bruce did, you got the Christmas whiskers going.
Yeah. Just let's take a little break there. Now, I was going to say that back in the discussion of SOPA, that the guy who killed Michael Jackson got 4 years in prison. If he had uploaded one of his songs, he could have gotten 5 years under SOPA.
Yeah, that's insane. And the whole thing, remember that controversy when they about that what I said earlier, that Justin Bieber and the lead singer of Journey would be felons because they uploaded copyrighted content, cover songs, which caused them to get their gigs. And they had this lawsuit, or I guess the lawyers for Bieber threatened to sue this girl who started this free Justin Bieber site about SOPA. And then, like, the next day, the kid actually came out and said, well, I oppose SOPA. And so then, like, that story disappeared. But that was funny. Anthony Clouser, any final thoughts on your wonderful Google Plus week as you turn your lights on? You actually got lighting. Look at this.
No, I just formatted my computer, and, like, this is what happened. Like, I didn't do anything.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
That's crazy. There actually is an Anthony Clouser. So anyway, any final thoughts this week? I know you're always eager to talk on the show.
Yeah, I caught you guys on the tail end, so...
Did you have a good week? Are you ready for Christmas, or...
Oh, I'm ready for Christmas to come and, get out of the way.
All right. You get to eat something, fatten up a little bit. You're a little malnourished. All right. I'm just kidding. All right, Alan, final thoughts as we conclude a Google Plus week, second to the end of the year for us.
I think next week I'm looking forward to let me just say I'm looking forward to a really great show next week, because that'll be marking the 6 months that Google Plus has been alive. It'll be our end of year wrap up, I hope. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone then, and the year is ahead.
All right, awesome. Well, Mohammed, I thank you so much for being with us. It was great to meet you. I used your Facebook Friends exporter,
Likewise.
and this was fun. This was great. And even though I got to get you to center your shot better, because I don't think you're if
That's
you
my
gotta,
brother, by the way. He's a big bodybuilder behind me.
Are you serious? I don't want to
I
mess
thought
with
it
him.
was your bodyguard.
He's got the muscles going. Are you at a home, or are you? I don't know if you were at an internet cafe or what. When you first, it was kind of
home.
dark and there was like different people.
At home. I'm at home.
All right, cool.
This is my crib right here.
It's your crib, your secret Canadian crib.
My secret Canadian crib. Yeah.
Hey, it was awesome meeting you. I thank you so much for taking the time. I promised you, it's about an hour, and now you're gonna be like, man, this was the biggest ordeal.
No, I'm coding at the same time we're talking, so it's okay.
But you're, I believe that.
I'm doing a new feature for my Hangouts, which is kind of cool.
Okay, cool.
I
right.
detailed you. It's kind of cool.
Uh-oh. All right, well, this was awesome. I had a great time with you guys. I love all you guys. I appreciate it. I want everyone to have a wonderful Christmas or whatever you celebrate.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, I'll be
Same to
celebrating
you.
tomorrow.
Happy Hanukkah.
And I want to thank
As
all the
well.
viewers, and the Hangout will continue if you guys wish. But let me conclude the show and say thank you so much for watching Google Plus Week, and we'll be back every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is either midnight or 1 a.m. GMT. Right now it's 1 a.m., but that changes because we play with our clocks every 6 months here in the United States and Canada. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm Dan McDermott. Have a terrific Google Plus Week.